This is Bill Simmons, and I want to tell you about my movie podcast, The Rewatchables, where each week I'm joined by ringer movie lovers, Chris Ryan, Sean Vennessy, Van Lathan, Kyle Brandt, Mally Rubin. We have a whole bunch of people on. We talk about movies we can't stop rewatching, and now you can watch us cover these movies on video in the Spotify app. We have covered over 350 movies, including Heat, Goodfellas, Boogie Nights, Pulp Fiction. We have some real heavy hitters coming up here in 2025. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, where you can watch every new episode right now. Just head to the Rewatchables on Spotify, now on video.
Welcome to the Ringer NFL Draft Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I am joined in person in Indianapolis by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. It's the Draft Show. Yesterday I said Fantasy Football Show, but we're the Draft Show now.
I didn't even notice that.
I know, no, we didn't either. But yeah, we're the Draft Show now because, pods are supposed to change their names.
Because we're at the Combine.
At least once a year. Yeah, we're at the Combine. So, NFL Draft Show, but we're still the Fantasy Football Show on Instagram. So, you know what? Don't worry about it.
You can't change the usernames on social. It's
the bad idea. Yeah. So there's a lot going on right now. We're in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine. I actually think Matt Stafford might end up a New York Football Giant. The Penn State pass rusher Abdul Carter, who is your number one player in your big board DK, has a stress reaction in his foot that Drew Rosenhaus is like, don't worry about it. We were at Travis Hunter's press conference. The salary cap is up $100 million. There's a lot going on, including later we're going to eat these Post Malone Oreos that I brought from home.
Post Malone flavored Oreos.
Post Malone Oreos. Don't let me forget that. But let's be honest. The number one topic of conversation, and it's not even remotely close, in Indianapolis, is the fight at the JW Marriott Starbucks between Ian Rapoport and Jordan Schultz.
Indianapolis is a buzz.
It's the story. It is. I'm not being hyperbolic. It is literally the only topic that's come up in every single conversation.
We've got texts about it.
Everybody is asking.
Bill Simmons texted us last night. Were you guys there for the Starbucks argument?
So I feel like we have to dive into this. So. PFT commenter at Barstool actually tweeted out.
Was the one
incredible. He was like,
so
big time media confrontation at the Starbucks, and then I don't think anyone believed that because it was just like, what's he talking about? And then shout out to Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio. Had a pretty legendary.
He's covering
recap.
This like it's the OJ trial. Dude, for real.
He was on the white Ford Bronco. He's got the helicopter.
Yeah, he's camping out.
Oh my god,
house.
It's unbelievable. So I'm gonna just straight up read this article
because
he gets the exchange
really cool thing called reading
aloud. Yeah, but no, it's perfect. It's a perfectly written thing. So Florio wrote, per multiple sources who witnessed the interaction, Jordan Schultz of Fox and Ian Rapoport of NFL Media engaged in a verbal altercation on Wednesday afternoon at the Starbucks at the JW Marriott in Indianapolis. Schultz, we're told, accosted. I've never seen that word.
You don't get to use the word accosted.
No,
great word.
Yeah. I've probably accosted Heifetz before.
I think I'm a accoster.
I can confirm that.
The fact that the fight happened at a Starbucks provides an intriguing coincidence because Jordan Schultz is the son of former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz.
Right.
Billionaire.
Multi-billionaire. Guy who sold the Sonics.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunate.
We're told that Ian Rapoport was talking to an agent and Schultz approached Rapoport and said, quote, "We need to talk." And then Rapoport replied, we're told, "We don't need to talk." And then
He's really reading the whole thing.
Dude, but then Schultz said, "If you have anything to say it to me, say it to my fucking face."
Mm-hmm.
And then if this continues, we're going to have a fucking problem. And then he says that Schultz actually contacted him, so he did not use any profanity.
He says he has no memory of using profanity, which means
that's how I
use profanity.
That's what happens with me also.
Right.
Yeah, we end the show, and I'm like, I don't think we curse that much. And you listen back, and you're like, oh, God. My mom's mad at me.
I feel sorry for all
I have no
children.
memory of using profanity.
Did I say moose cock on the show?
It's
Jesus.
like, it slips out, you know?
Yeah, crime of passion.
Yeah, totally.
It goes anyway, and then Rapoport told the witness NFL security was informed of the exchange.
I know security got called. This is serious. This is a real thing.
So we should talk about
because Rapshi he was like in enemy territory. He's at Starbucks.
Yeah, he's at a Starbucks.
Right, it's an away game.
They're at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of a nepo baby move to fight at the global iconic chain that you own.
Yeah, but
I don't think that was on
Jordan
purpose.
Schultz was not like, oh, he's at a Starbucks. Now's my time. I think he was like, where the fuck is Ian Rapoport? Oh, he's at a Starbucks. Okay.
Yeah.
So the origin of this is basically the funny thing about this is this actually is genuinely about the Matt Stafford trade. Is what they were arguing, or alleged what's going to happen with Matt Stafford. So Jordan Schultz, Ian Rapoport. Jordan Schultz started it. And again, he's an insider at Fox, but a side plot of this is is he? No one knows what he does?
Yeah, Jordan Schultz is a guy who I have followed for a long time, and I know about him, but I don't know where he works ever, or who his boss is, or who he reports for.
I'm not
now you do.
I guess.
His bio says he works at Fox. I don't know if that's actually true.
You know what's funny about that is it says he works for Fox, but then if you're on, I was reading Howard Schultz's Wikipedia. His Wikipedia says his son Jordan Schultz works for Bleacher Report.
He used to,
Must
I
have
think.
just recently changed.
Yeah.
Doesn't Tom Brady also work for
It says
Fox?
currently working
Yeah.
for Bleacher Report on Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah. So Jordan Schultz tweeted out, Raiders minority owner Tom, and this is a big story. Raiders minority owner Tom Brady recently hosted Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford at his home in Montana, where they spent time together and went skiing. Brady has been actively trying to convince Stafford to join the Raiders. Discussions are ongoing. Several teams are interested in Stafford if the Rams decide to move him, with Las Vegas believed to be the most aggressive suitor. That's a huge story because it's kind of like, cheaters stay cheaters, and it's like this whole thing started with Stafford and McVay.
Stafford only makes deals at 5-star locations.
Yeah, he just switches teams every time they're in
Were they at
Cabo.
Brady's house, or was it like a resort hotel situation?
Well, it's like one of those mega rich
Yes.
Montana
It's
ski
like a
resorts.
compound.
fancy ski.
Yeah, like the Succession place
Also,
or whatever.
can we? Now's a good time to remind you that Tom Brady tampering cost the Dolphins a first-round
Tom
pick.
Brady literally took a meeting on the yacht with Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, and they literally plotted to just have Sean Payton and Tom Brady become the Dolphins coaches. That's why Brian Flores was like, that's a whole thing. But like, it was this Game of Thrones line is like, it's not a plan, it's a plot. Like literally, they plotted and then they got caught, and then that's why Tom Brady had to go to the Bucs.
So Jordan Schultz says that Stafford and Brady meet in Montana. And then Rapoport says actually they met by happenstance. It was not a planned
coincidence.
meeting. They met by coincidence and had a very brief conversation about.
They just both happened to be in Montana.
They both happened to be at the ski resort situation in Montana.
Also, for the record, since I just said this, the NFL has already got back to reporters that says there's not an issue here because the Rams gave Stafford and his agent
Permission.
So it's not tampering, for the record.
True.
To me, does this seem like to you that Schultz is probably correct and that Brady and Stafford did have a planned meeting in Montana, and Rapoport is covering for Stafford's agent and saying, oh, no, this was not to kind of like show Stafford's hand of where he's leaning?
Right.
I mean, probably.
Right?
I mean,
That has to be the case.
because Schultz quote tweeted Rapoport was like, if you really think Tom Brady and Stafford just happened to run into each other at a ski resort of all places at the same time and got a bridge to sell you, and it's funny because
Of all the gin joints in all the world.
I actually could see a world where actually, you know what? There's only so many people that super rich, mega rich people go when they're skiing and whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh wow, what a coincidence that Matthew Stafford, who is trying to switch teams within the next 10 days, runs into the guy who runs one of the two teams. And I'm like, how convenient.
Whenever he wants to change teams, he just goes on vacation.
Also, Stafford is not a guy I would peg as somebody who wants to be skiing right now.
What was that?
Considering his age.
Phrasing?
Right.
Or,
His back.
yeah.
Can we get that on a quote card?
Is not a guy I would peg. No comma.
Everyone here behind the cameras just stopped. Everyone just looked down.
Stafford doesn't jump out to me as a guy who's like, I'm going to go skiing right now in February.
Didn't go shred.
Is he even allowed to ski in his contract? There's no way he's allowed to ski. Jalen Hurts can't go wakeboarding or whatever.
Right.
Well, he lied about that. Jalen Hurts says he can't play golf because it's in his contract, but it's not. He just says that to get out of golf, right?
He wants to get out of golf?
He doesn't want to play golf with people. Never mind. Stafford's not allowed to ski. Why is he at the resort? There's no chance
He shouldn't be allowed to ski.
I mean, there's other things to do at resorts. You can hang out and go to a restaurant.
Yeah, but my point is that like, who is going to a ski resort not to ski? Unless
you just happen to run into Tom Brady.
Tom Brady about becoming a Raider.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Anyway, Schultz is probably right, but also, why are you screaming?
Plausible
deniability.
Anyway, this was the big talk of the town last night.
Honestly, everyone was like, oh my God.
Because you know what's so funny is that, like,
I wish a punch was thrown.
I know. I kind of do, too. I wrote it first. I was going to describe it as a scrap, but I'm like, no, there's no scrap. Get my hands up for scrap.
This man accosted me.
It's funny, though, where it's like,
coffee to the face would have been cool.
No matter how old you are, though, it's incredible how, like, that, like, cliche of the high school lunchroom and someone's like, fight! And everyone just comes running, like, no matter, that never goes away.
They're like circling around.
Yeah, like, that's what we all were. We were just like, oh my God, there was a fight.
And because there were other NFL reporters there who watched this go down, right?
It's like in hockey, you only step in once they fall to the ground.
Right.
As long as you stay on your feet,
they
you
literally
can punch.
hold each other up so they can continue fighting.
That's why they grab the jersey.
Hockey's the best sport.
So
God,
funny.
we should just cover hockey. It's so sick they just start fighting. Oh my God.
In a perfect world, we would cover hockey. Yeah.
So, Schultz, we want to stick on Schultz. Also, what? So is he just worth like $10 billion and he just covers the NFL?
Yeah.
Would you keep doing the show if you had like $10 billion?
Honestly, maybe, because
I like you guys.
It'd be just like no pressure, all fun, all vibes.
Yeah.
Schultz can just fall back on his money and he's living the dream. It actually maybe makes him a better reporter.
But can you imagine?
No allegiance.
Can you imagine being that rich and then just someone tweeted at you and then you're just mad at? Well, I guess the owner of Twitter does that a lot. But like, imagine
he just wants to pave his own way. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
At the Starbucks.
I mean, it is ironic and funny that
it's pretty incredible.
That was just
I don't think that was planned.
No.
Yeah. You see people at Starbucks. That's the thing. That's why it's such a big
unless
company.
Schultz was like, hey, you call me the second Rapoport walks into a Starbucks. I'm going to give that guy a piece of my
A lot of
fucking mind.
coincidences here between the Stafford Brady thing and then Schultz at a Starbucks. It's like a weird. Anyway, yeah, I kind of wish there was a bunch.
Did the Starbucks have
Should I report that like they were not there on happenstance? They planned that meeting.
Just copy and paste the tweets.
He just replaced Brady and Stafford with Schultz and Rapoport.
And then I quote tweet you, and I'm like, if you believe this, I have a bridge to sell you.
Yeah, Heifetz tweets that they met there accidentally, and I tweet that they met there on purpose.
So I will say though, this story is so funny, but it actually
you report on it.
I know. My
And
God.
we get in a fight.
We
It
fight
just
at
reminds me
Hooters.
so much of, the meme, and I don't even know if this was real. I think it was real, but there's like a video of two guys on the street in New York just like flipping each other.
Fast video.
No.
So like aggressive. Very polite fighting.
It's
you
like
know?
they back up a few feet and then back at
It's
it.
like rule number 1: we can't touch each other. Everything else is on the table.
It's like the Anchorman thing. No hair, no face.
Of course.
So
God.
I will say though, the trade, like Matt Stafford leaving. I know, like we've known about this might happen for like a week, right?
It's starting to feel more real though.
I gotta tell you,
It's going to happen.
today was the first day, like I knew this might happen. Today was the first day where I was like, oh my God,
yeah.
Matt Stafford might be the quarterback for my team. And I kind of like hadn't processed that emotionally. And today I got invested.
Dude,
because I was
Stafford
like,
and Neighbors is kind of fun.
The Giant, that
Imagine
would
they
be,
bring in Cooper Kupp too.
I started,
That would be-
oh my God, we will get,
Yeah.
dude, the Giants are going to make
It's all
Giants
coming
are gonna do
together.
it.
Super Bowl.
Dude, the Giants are
Now
gonna
I'm
make Super
feeling
Bowl.
good about your
Dude,
Super Bowl
I feel,
bet.
Is Stafford immediately like one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the history of the New York Giants?
Wow. Well, Kurt Warner, I mean, he wasn't that good for the Giants, but like Eli and then
Kurt Warner, Giants,
Y.A.
of
Tittle,
Giants fame.
Right.
Phil
Yeah.
Sims. I mean, honestly, Stafford probably is straight up
Probably
3. Yeah.
or maybe 2 already.
Yeah, he's pretty much.
I was playing with Phil Sims back in the day on Tecmo Bowl.
Don't forget Milt Plum. You played.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't mean
Tecmo
this-
Bowl, like in
it's
the
oldest thing about
80s, Phil Sims was awesome.
I barely know what that is. Like,
I don't
when
even
hear
know what
Tecmo Bowl, I just don't
platform
even know what
Tecmo
it
Bowl was on, and it's the oldest thing you referenced to me.
is it on PlayStation?
Bill references Tecmo
The
Bowl.
original play. Where was it?
PlayStation, no.
What was it?
Nintendo.
Nintendo what?
The Nintendo.
64?
They didn't have a name for it? It
The
was just-
original Nintendo.
It didn't have a name. It's just the Nintendo.
Well, hold on. I don't remember what it's exactly called.
Was the first one?
Yeah, was that not
No.
the first one?
No.
Oh my! Wait.
That was my favorite Christmas gift of all time. by the way.
The original Nintendo, like,
1998, I think, is when I got it.
I don't actually remember if
Is this
they
like
had,
Xbox? It's just the first one's just Xbox.
Look, this is what it looked like. NES system.
Nintendo Entertainment.
This is what it
System.
looked like. And then you put, like, sorry, obviously.
My grandpa had one of those.
Let
Yeah.
me see.
So, and then
Wow,
you would
that
like
thing's
put the little
huge.
cartridge
Oh,
in,
yes.
you take it out, you blow on the cartridge. If it wasn't working right, you put it right back in. That's
be honest-
that's why the expression like take out the, like blow on the cartridge is like a thing.
Yeah, all the kids
I
are
didn't
saying it.
realize that was a Nintendo.
They say that and glazing. Those are the two things they say.
Right. I didn't realize that was a Nintendo.
Yeah, that's the Nintendo.
But it's
sound like-
called the NES.
I think I just called it Nintendo.
I used to play Crash Bandicoot on that thing.
Okay.
Dude, I had that when it was an app.
I played like Duck Hunt,
Oh yeah, Duck Hunt.
Excitebike or Excitebike. I don't know what.
Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. One, all the people listening who are just infuriated at Craig and I for not understanding stuff about Nintendo, and also your favorite Nintendo games from the original.
The original
email
was
us.
called NES, I guess. I didn't really call
Nintendo
it that.
Entertainment System.
Yeah, I called it the Nintendo.
There's going to be. Should we get back to football or keep going on?
Well,
this?
what were you gonna say?
I was going to get back to football.
Oh yeah, sure.
Fine.
There's going to be a bidding war for Stafford. Like,
We're in it right now.
It really. Giants and Raiders, a massive bidding war for Stafford. They both should want him very much. I mean, it's the perfect time for Stafford. He's going to make, like, if he stayed with the Rams as his contract currently sits, he'd make like $27 million next year, which is ridiculous. He could probably make double that on the Rams or Raiders. My last point is that why are the Pittsburgh Steelers not involved in this?
I don't know. It's insane.
the
It's
Steelers?
insane.
Yeah.
Well,
Seriously,
you know why?
they
It's
have the
'cause-
money. Why aren't they doing it?
It's because there's no desperation. The Raiders are starting something new. The Giants are going to get fired if they don't make the playoffs, and the Steelers, like, you know, like there's no. I don't know. I don't understand it. Maybe it's the money.
The Giants have won a
Do they?
playoff game
Do
more
you
recently
think they're
than
just
the Steelers
balking
have.
at the idea
That's
of giving
wild.
him $100 million or whatever?
Well, so here's my thing on this.
Ridiculous.
Here's the thing. I think with the Stafford trade,
The market is so weak. There's nobody else. Like, who?
Well, that's
it is
the-
Stafford, and then 100 feet of crap, and then everybody else.
here's the you know, again, I always the bell curve meme with the idiot being like, you know, And then the middle is like the nerd saying all the smart things, and then the end is like Yoda, master, saying the same. And it's like, this is obviously really fun to get Matt Stafford.
It's like Matt Stafford, awesome. And then the middle 80% of nerds are like, well, he's getting older. He's going to be
38,
expensive.
$100 million in the cap.
He's like too injured.
Give up a second round pick.
The other side is Stafford to neighbors.
And so this is my short answer on this, which is like, look, he could do the Rodgers thing and could get hurt on his fourth snap. Like watch him get hurt on the third snap. And the Giants not do the Jets.
That into the world.
Whatever, it's fine. Shut up. And so, no.
It's actually, I'm usually the one that's like, there's no such thing as jinxing, but even that, I was like,
That's not how jinxing works. Jinxing is how
jinxing isn't a thing.
Amateur jinxing.
There's no
you don't know
such
what
thing.
Jinxing's when I'm saying he'll definitely play the whole season. That's a jinx. If I say he could get hurt, that's not a jinx.
What do you call what you just did then?
That's a reverse jinx.
No, because that would.
Jinxing is when I'm like, well, he'll play the whole season. What could go wrong? And then he gets hurt. I jinxed it.
Go wrong?
I think that's right.
Right, but I'm curious now what the word is for what Heifetz did.
I don't think there is a word for it.
Okay.
It's a reverse jinx.
It's just
I'm a superstitious.
Just saying he could get hurt on the second play like Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I said.
Oh, let's not say that.
I think that's what fake superstitious people think. That's fake.
That's just like pessimism. I don't know.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it's sitting.
Cynicism.
Pragmatism. Cynicism.
Anyway, the point is, I don't care if they overpay him in draft picks and money. I want to watch a good football team. Do you know how bad this team is? Like I am.
Heifetz hasn't rooted for the Giants to win.
I have not. Like what there has been. Again, we were talking about this last night. Actually, the last 8 Giant seasons, 7 of them basically landed them as one of the 12 worst teams in the NFL. They've had the second pick, the third pick, the sixth pick again, like the 12th pick. Like they've been awful. And the worst season of all was the one time they made the playoffs and actually won. That one was worse than them all. And I'm like, I want to watch an exciting football team. Like I am waning in my interest as a fan. Like I'm a Giants fan because of my mom and her mom. And my mom is now like turning the game off at halftime on Sundays because she's like, I can't watch this. This is depressing. I don't care about like what percentage of the fucking cap. They're not going to win the Super Bowl sometime soon. I want to watch a football game and not feel like once we go down 10 points, the game's over.
I think that this is a great point, and I feel like this happens a lot because, and part of it is maybe our fault because we talk about the cap a lot. We talk about cap space and yes, the optimal way of using your cap and all that. I think there is like a thing where the pendulum has swung too far where people care too much about the cap.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
You know what I mean? Like, just there's some gray area between being like the Saints, who are insane people, and the way that they treat their cap, and like 90% of the other teams. Just don't worry about it that much.
It's just also like as a fan, it's just like less fun to worry about. That's right. Not your job. I know. I understand why some fans you try to be like a pseudo GM.
Right.
And it's fun to do the offseason thing, and you're doing the trade machine. Can we make this work? We want to save as much money as possible. But the kind of casual fan who just like checks in July and is like, holy shit, the Giants have Matt Stafford. It's like, yeah, well, they actually overpaid him by $10 million. Be like, who gives a shit? It's not my money.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? It's like, oh, well, because like here's the thing, and I do this too. Where sometimes it's like, oh, well, and I do this too with Kirk Cousins, where I'm like, oh, well, you know, I don't know if you want to do that and you spend that much money, but I'm like, it's easy to say when it's not your team. But when it's your team, I'm like, I hate watching this team. Do you know how much Tommy DeVito was supposed to be like Jeremy Lin and like go away or whatever? It was supposed to be like a 3-week sensation. Jeremy Lin, actually, they should have kept him. That's the whole other thing. But like, Tommy DeVito was supposed to be a bit. Oh, he has this agent who's like in the Italian Sports American Hall of Fame, and like it was supposed to be a 2-week story. That was 3 seasons ago. He's the only quarterback on the team. This is like
the other thing.
Give me Matt Stafford.
The other point that I want to make about this, like cap idea, and like making sure your team is utilizing the cap efficiently or whatever. When you have good players making a lot of money, that's good.
Great problem.
It's a good. Well, you want to use your cap on good players.
On that
period.
On that note,
like
with the cap,
if your cap is going towards good players, that's a good thing.
And on that note, with the cap, this crazy thing happened that we didn't talk about last week. The cap went up. The cap went up again. The cap is going to be $280 million per team per year. Like in 2018, it was 170. The cap has gone up $100 million in 7 years. The entire salary cap was $100 million like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And to put that in perspective, like that basically means the NFL has made an extra $1 billion per year each of the last 7 years in revenue.
Dying sport. How can we fix it?
How can we fix the NFL? Yeah. How can we fix this business that's... I mean, anyway. So, but again, that's $100 million per team. That's $3 billion. And that's just the 45% the players get. So they're up like $6 or $7 billion.
This is why we're not covering hockey.
Yeah.
Because of that, mainly.
It's probably true. But yeah, so it's like the cap's going up, and I'm like, give me a quarterback. Give me one of them big ones.
Yeah,
Also,
honestly, I think this is kind of a no-brainer. I think there always is the chance that he could get hurt, but you got to go for it.
Overpaying however many million for Matt Stafford is also, if you compare it to what else is on the table, if there was like 5 great quarterbacks this offseason that are up for grabs,
totally.
Sure, maybe you don't want to pay $10 million too much for a certain guy. But there's Stafford, and then it's like, what are you going to get, Sam Darnold?
I'm not watching. I can't.
Kirk
Drew
Cousins?
Lock.
I can't do it. Like it's been like the Giants are on the precipice of a decade.
Guys,
the Raiders are on 25 years of this.
There's a meteor coming pretty soon.
Dude, we didn't talk about this. What
so you might as well sign Stafford.
Roger Sherman tweeted out this. So if you didn't see, there's this asteroid got rated as like the highest chance it's ever been to hit Earth.
Meteor
it's
asteroid,
like,
yeah.
I
don't know if it makes a difference.
I don't care. Nothing would bother me more than someone. I'm like, oh my God, the asteroid is going to wipe out the Earth, and Sherman's like, actually, it's a meteor.
Right before you die.
And then that's the last thing you hear on Earth.
Actually,
it's a meteor.
100 feet away. That's an asteroid.
So it got updated.
How big is it? Didn't it say it's like the size of 3 football fields?
Yeah, it's like an extinction event or whatever.
There's a 3% chance it hits Earth, which
So,
I don't know. That feels like a lot.
Isn't it supposed to hit the Pacific Ocean though? Right?
Yeah, I think that would be really bad too.
3% is that's still bad.
It's all
tsunamis, global tsunamis.
We don't want it to hit.
People forget though that how big the Pacific Ocean is. Though Pacific Ocean is like 70% of the Earth.
Well, yeah, but that's also like water.
The
water will go to the
rotate
land.
the Earth the perfect way. It's just almost
just all Pacific Ocean. Like the flat map really takes away how big the Pacific Ocean is.
Email us fun facts about maps in the Pacific Ocean too. Ringer Fantasy Football Gmail.
I'm getting an update.
Wait, no, the asteroid. Here's the thing: the asteroid. 3% is the
there's a
UMBC.
new estimate. It's actually down to like 0.002%.
That it will hit
in
Earth.
a week. What changed?
I don't know. They're getting more information on it.
I guess it's pretty
The
far
article
away.
I'm looking at here, hopefully this is the same one. The riskiest asteroid on record now has a near 0 chance of hitting Earth. We're okay. Now I don't know if you want to sign Stafford.
Bruce Willis.
Did they downgrade it to a meteor?
Now we don't have to answer the question, do we train oil drillers to be astronauts
Rather
instead of the astronauts being oil drillers?
Thank God. We don't have to do that now.
Also, they could have just trained both. And I don't know. Could have sent more people.
Together.
I don't know. Yeah. What were we talking about? I don't know. Get me Matt Stafford. All right, let's do some Panda Watch. DK, wait, it's draft season again? We just talk about the draft prospects for 4 months, even though they don't play football?
Can you hit us with the first Panda Watch of the season?
Panda Watch!
How the prospects doing?
Get a little panda logo in the corner.
Yeah, we get the panda. DK, so Abdul Carter, number 1 player on your board, Penn State pass rusher. Are you excited for him to work out at the combine?
No, he's hurt.
Oh, okay.
Already. Everyone exciting is not working out at the combine. Ashton Genty, hanging out, doing interviews. Tyler Warren, hanging out, doing interviews.
Mason Graham's just doing the bench press.
Colston Loveland has a sling on his shoulder.
His arms immobilized.
I love Mason Graham just doing the bench press. Like, I'm going to do the one thing I'm really good at, and that's it.
Also, yeah, you go over the list, and every year I go over the list of all these guys, the coolest guys not participating. I'm like, what the fuck did we come? No, it's still worth it.
But yeah, a lot of the exciting guys that we're looking forward to watching work out are not doing it. So that's the update on Panda.
The Abdul Carter one. Well, so
Pandas are not coming out of their caves.
They're not coming out. An idiot out here.
Making me look like an idiot, Abdul.
Dick.
God damn it, Abdul. So the update. So DK has his updated big board. He's up to 50 players at fantasy football's rankings.
Right.
NFL Draft.theringer.com.
Correct.
Is where DK's big board is. And
Also,
we're
we had Caleb Johnson listed at 320 pounds.
No one was going to know this till you.
Well,
we
fixed it. He's not 320 pounds.
He's not 6'9".
I wish he was.
Yeah, we had a running back listed at 6'9". It's kind of like a Madden creative player when you have this like 6'9" running back and he's 99 speed. And
I know it is like it's like you decide. It's like Luka Doncic would be like my running back.
320 might be late. But yeah.
It's not realistic. What does he weigh?
No one knows.
Yeah. No one knows. He knows.
I know you. I know everyone made this joke, but you were the one who made it to me of like Supermax is that his contract or his weight.
No.
Hey, is that what the scale said?
Yeah.
Supermax.
I still can't believe he would drink sweet tea at practice. It wasn't even like tea. It was fucking Chick-fil-A
It's like on Mean Girls
tea.
when she like gives her the like whatever the protein bars that are supposed to like
1,000 calories.
That's like somebody's giving Luca that.
Yeah, it's like some like Swedish energy bar that can last you all day.
It's like 2,000 calories each.
Unbelievable. Wait,
Lambus bread.
Yeah, sweet tea, man.
Is that the name? You just pull that out of your dome?
That's from Lord of the Rings.
Sweet tea is
like one small bite will feed a man for a whole day.
Have you ever had like a brisk iced tea? Those things are fucking good.
I hate brisk.
Are you talking about the sweetened ones or not?
Yes, the sweetened one. Like a sweetened
makes like your teeth chatter.
Yeah, I don't like.
Like you can feel like your molars eroding. Man, is it good.
In real time, you can feel your teeth.
Dude, as a kid, we used to in like middle school, we would go to 7-Eleven, buy the Arizona iced teas for 99 cents. Those things are the fucking best.
Dude, I think about the stuff
like
in those.
78 grams of sugar, 20 ounces.
Dude, I think about all the time the stuff in those sodas. So in Coca-Cola, the main thing they have is saccharin, is like the sugar thing, is saccharin. And they did this study where they offered rats a choice between food or cocaine. And all the rats
these
chose.
Are like old wives' tales or if they're real.
Well, I read it once on the internet, so it's pretty accurate. But the rats all chose cocaine over food till they died. And then they offered the rats cocaine or saccharin, and they all chose saccharin.
I feel like this is fake, but I like it anyway.
It's not called Coca-Cola for nothing.
Oh, so wait, what did we say Pepsi's old name was? It was just Tom's Drink?
Brad's Drink.
Brad's Drink was Pepsi's first name. They just called it Brad's Drink.
Coca-Cola, maybe the greatest name in branding history.
Right.
Brad's Drink.
Brad's Drink.
The Brad's Drink halftime show. Anyway, so Abdul Carter, the number one player in the draft. So he has this foot injury. And again, we talked about this.
He also had a shoulder injury during the
I know.
playoff.
He couldn't use his arm. I can't use his foot, which we probably should worry about. But again, we talked about the NFL Combine, the Combine, whatever, is like, at the core of it, it's actually a medical event that they've made a television thing. But like, it's to poke and prod these guys. And like, this is why they insist upon it, because they found he has a stress reaction. And so,
what does that mean?
Well, I'm a doctor. So what a stress reaction is that, can I legally say, I won't get sued
Dr.
if I say
Heifetz.
that. We need the Pat McAfee scroller that says, like, don't sue us. Like,
show.
It's a comedy show. Please don't sue us. Like, we need that. But as a doctor, I read on the internet that a stress reaction is what you get before a stress fracture.
Okay.
So, like, in a way, it doesn't mean anything.
So the bone has not cracked yet?
Yeah, no, it has not.
Yeah, no.
That's what fracture.
So it's like
the literal doctor for Arrested Development. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So
no.
they're worried
No,
it's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
break.
no.
They're worried it's going to break, but it hasn't broken yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so Drew Rosenhaus, who's super agent Drew Rosenhaus, is Abdul Carter's, who's kind of like the Scott Boras of the NFL. And he actually gave an interview to reporters and said, quote, "There are mixed opinions on whether Abdul Carter needs surgery, and we will figure that out in the near future." And he went out and detailed that says there are two options for Abdul Carter. I'm not quoting anymore, but this is like what Rosenhaus said. Abdul Carter could have preemptive surgery on his foot, have a screw inserted in his right foot, return to working out and running in like 8 weeks. Or he could bypass the foot surgery, just do his pro day at Penn State on March 28th, and just prove to NFL teams that he does not need surgery just to get drafted. And so it sounds like they want to see more doctors, and Adam Schefter reported basically they're going to do the second thing, not get surgery, do his pro day, and prove that, like, I'm fine, don't worry about my foot.
Wait, what? And then get surgery after the
No.
Well, I guess they're not going to get surgery at all.
They're going to like sort of take the chance that he won't need surgery yet.
Which, to me,
That's dumb.
that's kind of, as a doctor, I also
think
thought it was dumb.
putting a screw in your foot is, like, when it comes to different types of surgery, it's relatively, like, you have a lot of complications when you're putting a piece of foreign material in your foot. Like, those are, I think, generally more prone to, like, infection and things like that. You have more issues with it. So they're hoping they don't have to just go in.
So why was this reported at all then?
Well, here's my question.
Because you're at the combine and these things, this is what they're checking for.
But don't you, I get the way that
I thought there's no issue yet.
Well, there's a pre-issue. This is like the precog.
How do they know that? So you can tell.
This is like that movie Minority Report.
So you can tell that his foot is not okay, but there's no cracks in the foot.
I don't know.
Here's my
He's
thing.
the doctor.
Here's my
Why are you
thing.
looking at me?
You know more about this clearly than me. Here's my question. I'm a little freaked out that they're telling us all this.
I know.
They're really being like, there's nobody
too much
panic.
detail here.
Nobody panic.
This makes me more worried.
I literally you read this and I'm like, you know what, I get why they don't tell us anything. I'm kind of freaked out that I'm getting this much information about your foot.
If I'm a team like the Patriots or something, somebody with the 3rd, 4th, 5th pick, I'm thrilled by this news.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, because you're just going to get Abdul Carter.
To me nowadays, with like the advancements we have in medicine, and so many guys can bounce back from pretty much anything nowadays. This means nothing to me, and if I were Abdul Carter, I probably wouldn't work out if I was worried about getting hurt. But yeah, to me, if he falls to 3, 4, 5, I would absolutely take it.
But the flip side also is like, what if he breaks his foot?
Like ever?
Well, it's just like, I don't know. There's like you had this, I might be confusing someone else actually. I don't remember. I haven't got enough sleep. Who's the one? No, it's you. Who's like, if a receiver has some kind of recurring foot injury, I'm out. And it's like,
that doesn't sound like me.
Oh. Maybe it was me. I don't remember.
But I waffle on it a lot, to be totally honest.
DK's pretty optimistic about injuries.
I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with these people's bodies, so I'm just going to assume they'll be fine.
It's similar to the Myles Garrett thing, where I'm like, Myles Garrett has injuries to both feet, and it hurt him last season. I'm like, so that's just going to get better? It's like foot injuries are like back injuries. Because as a doctor, you have the most bones in your feet. Right. And it's like, I learned that in the song. But there's
just like a lot of moving parts.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Sing the song.
No, I can't sing.
Is it like the hip bones connected to the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Metatarsals? I don't know how many there are. The point is that I don't like the first pick having a foot issue.
I still don't know the difference between the bones in your legs. Tib fib. Yeah. I know the femur.
That's good. That one's
what are they called? Fibula? Or
if you put a gun to my head, I would die.
Tibia and fibia.
Which I don't remember.
Fibula.
No, fibula.
Yeah.
No, that's like what I always mess up.
You call that fibia?
Yeah,
do you know which is which?
Just go say tib fib.
It should be tibia fibia, let's be real.
Right. So whoever made these names is just fucking with us.
This is like how eagles spelled not like seagull. And people are like, well, gulls and eagles are different types of birds. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like spelled the same.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway,
so would you take him first overall right now? I guess the question is, does this affect your confidence in him as one of the best players?
I would say yes by a very small degree. I think if it doesn't mean anything to you, that's crazy. But like, it's also okay for it to knock him down like 1.5% in your mind. That's fine.
Everyone is going to say that. Everyone's going to be like, I don't know if he should be the first overall pick anymore. And then when he goes fifth, everyone's going to be like, best pick in the draft. You know?
Yeah.
Which then means like then just take him first.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing though. This doesn't really move me that much. I will say though. So the other calculation here. So your DK number 2 player at NFL Draft .3n.com is Travis Hunter, and who again receiver, cornerback, Heisman winner from Colorado, probably the best college athlete I've seen since Cam Newton. Like the overall experience is unbelievable. His podium was today.
What'd you think?
I don't want to say I was like blown away, but like, I think it's not like the performance is blown away, but there's a very specific. He was all business. And if I had a single takeaway from Travis Hunter's podium, this is my belief. He's gonna play both ways, and I think he's gonna be good at it.
Like 100%?
I think he everything. Someone's like, yeah, it probably has to be a cornerback. He's gonna fucking do it. Like, he's going to do it, man. Like, he's going to do it. I think he's special. I think it's an Ohtani situation. Everyone says it's impossible, and then it happens. And I'm like, it was weird because there were like 100 people there, but no one was asking questions, so I actually got like 4 questions in, and it was kind of weird.
It
was bizarre.
Rapid fire over there.
Well, I
had some good questions. You asked him if Deion was only coach. When he was coming out of high school, Travis Hunter was the number 1 player in the country.
Yes.
5-star, the top prospect in the country. And apparently what he said was Deion was the only one that promised him he could play both sides.
He said, I asked him, do any college coaches think in high school that you could play both ways in the college?
Right.
Or is it just Deion? And he said it was only Deion that thought he could do it. And I'm like, this guy just went through this once and won the fucking Heisman, best player in America, and he won it. And so his answers to these questions, obviously, because the number 1 question asked Hunter, other than everyone screaming, did you talk to the Colts? And which is just, don't even get me stressed. But like,
combine faux pas.
Oh my God. But the Travis Hunter, someone basically asked him like, are you sure you can play both ways? And he looked at him and he's like, I know I can do it.
He's like, I just did it.
He's like,
I know I can do it. And it wasn't angry, it wasn't spiteful, it just was like factual. And the other thing he said, someone asked him, what do you say to the fact that nobody's played both ways in the modern NFL? And he's just like, yeah, nobody's done it, but I'm different. And again, like his demeanor, and someone asked him, if you had to pick one side to play 100% of snaps, which would you pick? He says, I'm going to play both. And he was like,
people kept trapping him in, like, trying to trap him into like saying which side he wanted to do. He's like not biting on that.
There were 2 that stuck with me. Someone said, like, no. But like, if you have to pick Travis, what would you pick? And he smiled. And he was like, actually, sorry, he did not smile, which I noted. He didn't smile during the presser at all, basically. And he was like, it's not my job to figure it out. I'm going to play both ways. Like he just which is such a Deion way to handle the business of like, not my job. Take me and I'm playing both ways. You tell me what the plan is.
The context with that, I think, is, in the pros, obviously there's the physical rigors of it all, but the players all meet with certain specific groups or certain specific position groups during the week or whatever. So he would be in all the cornerback meetings during the week. And so the question I think a lot of people have is like, will you not just, you're not going to go to offensive meetings then? How are you going to go to all?
He only practiced defensively. Right. He did not practice on the receiver.
And they just told him what route to run on the play.
It's like, go out there and make plays. So I think there's, that's one thing. That's a variable that some people are trying to figure out. Like, what are you going to do in the pros when the receivers and the corners are meeting at the same time and studying tape? And he would just have to like stay after practice and work with coaches and do that. And so that's another variable to this outside of the physical.
In the game and in practice.
Right.
I just frankly, I know this is maybe silly, and look, one of the reasons some teams don't want to meet these players is you're like biased by just meeting them, makes you biased and kind of like makes you lead to bad decisions because, you didn't like Aaron Rodgers' handshake, so you took Alex Smith, like sometimes meeting them makes it worse.
Right.
But I will say, Travis Hunter, like, someone asked him, like, who are your top 5 favorite players? And he says, I don't have a top 5. And I was like, I fucking want this guy on the Giants. Like, but I love
it's cool when Travis Hunter does it, but when Jalen Hurts does it, it's late.
Well, no, I don't, and I'm
That's
curious.
True, yes.
Yeah.
I want you guys to check me because now I'm basically drunk on the idea of I want Matt Stafford and Travis Hunter. I want Matt Stafford and I want Travis Hunter. I want that guy on my football team.
Matt Stafford, Travis Hunter, Cooper Kupp, Malik Neighbors.
I want that guy. I'm telling you.
Would you rather have Abdul Carter or Hunter?
I want Travis Hunter.
Okay.
You know why? Because I've come back around to where I was during the season.
It kind of makes sense for your team too.
I've come back around where I'm like, if he was just the best quarterback, probably he was just like Will Johnson in Michigan, who we barely talked about, frankly, because good cornerbacks are boring, nothing happens. But I'm like, he's a great cornerback. I don't think you build around cornerbacks, and I don't like, you take a receiver from Malik Neighbors, he's great, you need one. But I'm like, the idea, generally speaking, I don't want to build a football team around the edges. Like receivers and cornerbacks. I'm like, I don't remember any Super Bowl teams kind of built that way.
You got to start in the trenches.
However, I kind of think. We talk all the time with the quarterbacks, so it's like you flip the coin, like, what if they're good? You got to try. I'm like, have we considered, we almost haven't talked, we've talked so much about how hard it would be for Travis Hunter to do it. We haven't actually spent any time on what if he just is good in the NFL in both ways? Like, what if he's actually a top 10 cornerback and a top 10 receiver? Like, we haven't actually played it out. We keep talking about the limitations, and I'm sitting there and looking at this guy, I'm like, I kind of believe him when he's like, I know how to do it. I know how to do my body. Like, and I'm like, yeah, he got trained by Deion Sanders. I'm like, I kind of believe that he's going to do it.
He does have a chance to immediately become one of the most famous non-quarterbacks in the NFL, like overnight.
He only has to do it, but put it this way.
If he has an interception and like a 100-yard receiving game and a touchdown in like week 4, he will immediately become one of the top 5 most famous non-quarterbacks in the league.
Think about it this way. Can you imagine, and again, this is crazy, but I can't stress enough that Shohei Ohtani led the Major League Baseball in RBIs and strikeouts per 9.
Right.
So it's like, I don't want to hear impossible from anyone, frankly. I think that you're not paying attention if you say anything's impossible. And just for a moment.
Impossible.
Imagine getting the All-Pro list and Travis Hunter's at All-Pro and receiver and All-Pro and quarterback. And I'm like, he could do that once, never play football again, and they'd have to talk about him for the Hall of Fame.
I was more skeptical about him as a wide receiver, and then over the course of this week, we've been hanging out with Matt Harmon a lot, who's actually just sitting over there right now. He works at Yahoo, hosts the Yahoo Fantasy Football Show, and he does reception perception. Mm-hmm. He's like one of the best receiver knowers.
He's a ball knower when it comes to receivers and route running and getting open and everything.
He told me last night that Travis Hunter is the best wide receiver he's ever charted in college.
Dude! And that's what I'm thinking.
Here's the thing. Man, really? What are we?
Yeah.
We're talking about Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, whoever. He's basically since Odell Beckham, he's the best I've seen.
It's preposterous. And also, I think Chase was better. I can't believe I actually want to talk to him about that. That's an insane thing to say. Chase.
You're going to tell him he's wrong?
No, I want to know why. I always think of Jamar Chase as the modern.
It's wrong.
No, I'm just curious. That's a wild thing to say. But but here's the thing. At some point, I just think we have, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm like, I just think he's going to do it. And I'm like, imagine Pat, he's the best athlete I've ever fucking seen that wasn't playing.
You are very invested in this. I like it. I like it.
I basically, it's like, what if I guess here's my better question. What if he does it and you didn't take him?
I think the Giants are also uniquely set up to take him because obviously if you get Stafford, that relieves any need for a quarterback. But also you have such a good defensive line, so even not taking Abdul Carter, it's like, that's kind of okay too. You're not a team that necessarily needs it. You can kind of take a shot on the Travis Hunter because you need the corner, you need the wide receiver, and if you have a good quarterback who can now throw to him, it's kind of the perfect fit.
Yeah. And I guess, I know I'm harping on this, but he's the most interesting prospect I think we've ever covered. Quarterbacks are different. I know he's not Caleb Williams or whatever, but I think he's the most interesting non-quarterback that I've ever seen in football. And I just keep thinking about what is the underlying principle of why you take quarterbacks and pass rushers over cornerbacks. It's scarcity, and it's you need a quarterback, they're hard to find. You need a pass rusher, they're hard to find. The underlying principle that I think has nailed for me, when Travis, basically I really believed him. When I'm like, I kind of do think that he's right and everyone else is wrong about being able to do it. I really believe him. And I'm like, the underlying principle of, what's hard to find? the first person to ever do this. And I think that if you want to be like, I just kind of want to take the shot that you'd be the first team to ever get anyone like this and just see what happens. And I can't pass on that. I cannot pass on that.
It'd be really funny if they just took like Will Campbell.
After all that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we wanted to protect Stafford.
He's going to play guard.
We're going to end up with fucking Justin Fields and Will Campbell. Anyway, all right, too much on that.
Heifetz is daring to dream right now.
I love it.
That's a jinx. What I just did is that's a jinx.
To dream.
So, DK, you have your top 50 at NFLDraft.TheRinger.com, and you updated it to you had 32 before. Now you got 50, and I want to ask you in particular about one player who
my boy Ted at 4.
So if you go to your phone, laptop, whatever, NFLDraft.TheRinger.com. It's an amazing website, and DK scouting reports are incredible. They're the best in the game. I want to ask you. You have at number 34. Matthew Golden, the receiver out of Texas.
A guy we have not talked much about.
We have not.
Yeah, we'll get into him.
Because he came into the season, it was supposed to be Isaiah Bond, and Golden's just better.
Bond is really exciting, too. But he had he's hurt. He had an off season. But when you watch him, he's one of the best athletes in college football. He's insanely exciting, but also I think there's a lot more variance there.
I always want to know why someone who was good ended up being bad. Like, you always got to figure out what happened.
You're right. But that's like part of the whole process. But like just, based on his upside potential, Bond is really exciting. But Golden, I think, is... Well, what were you going to say about Golden?
Well, I was going to say, can you explain your player comp for Matthew Golden is Air Bud.
Oh, God.
Golden receiver.
I've been wanting to use the Air Bud for a long time. Air Bud. When I looked up, so I was like,
he's a golden receiver.
Golden receiver. Air Bud Golden. That's actually the name of the second Air Bud movie, I think.
Is it?
Golden Receiver.
Oh, that's great.
So it worked out.
Do you think Roger Sherman was like, do you think they make the movie if they don't come up with the title?
What was that? We got to figure out.
Title came first, and they're like, we'll make a movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of Pirates of the Caribbean. They just had a ride.
I went and this is how much work and fact checking I put into this. I actually went and looked up the plot to Air Bud Golden Receiver to make sure that it worked.
Right. What else did you need to know?
What about the plot?
Well,
him being a dog that plays wide receiver wasn't enough?
No.
Okay.
That's how deep I'm going on these. No, it was honestly, I was I wanted to make sure that he wasn't playing defensive end or something. I don't know. Obviously receiver.
The movie called Golden
I was going to say, that would be bizarre.
Look, I'm just, I'm doing my own research.
What, you think he's like a four-tech?
Dude, I kind of want to watch this movie. He catches the ball with his mouth, which I love.
Yeah.
And he has a weird helmet. It's just a preposterous movie.
Does the helmet allow for his mouth to catch the ball, or does it just get stuck in the face mask?
No, I don't think he has a face mask. Hold on. Let's see. Air Bud Golden. I think the first one was Air Bud. He was a basketball player. The second one was Air Bud Golden Receiver.
We work at The Ringer. Roger
Air
Sherman.
Bud World Pup.
Dude, Roger Sherman literally wrote an entire column on this for The Ringer. That's it's the plausibility rankings of all the Air Bud movies.
Air Bud seventh inning fetch.
Air Bud starts with a basketball.
Really going for it with the puns.
Air Bud started with a basketball game where they needed him to come in for 7 seconds, and he booped it off his nose into the basket, and it ends with him hitting a home run in the World Series.
Craig, look at his helmet. His helmet's it's like one of those old,
Leatherheads
from the 1930s.
Dude, look at this.
Yeah.
They have one where he robs a museum and goes through lasers. Look at this.
Look at this guy. This kid, this dude can run.
Dude, look at this. They have a movie where Air Bud, look, he goes through a museum and
he's like the guy from Ocean's 12.
He's like Ocean's, he's going through the laser. Yeah, he's with the Fox or whatever. He's going through lasers. He's stealing Fabergé eggs.
He's the Night Fox.
Yeah. Dude, that movie was bad, but the other 11 and 13 are good.
I
thought they were all good. What are you talking about?
I like being in Europe with all of them.
It's good. Julia Roberts playing Julia Roberts could have failed, and it was pretty awesome.
He wears the number K9. They thought of everything. Okay, so anyway, after intense research, you determined that it was a proper comp.
Yeah, okay. I think it works really well.
Route running,
short area agility, field tilting speed. You're not catching up with a dog,
right? He has a tail, also, Matthew Golden.
Wait, hold on, wait. Dude, he's going to do a press conference tomorrow. Should we ask him hey, I know you think you have that dog in you. My friend Danny Kelly.
By the way,
you to Air Bud.
Dog in him is on there too for
Air Bud.
Oh.
Should we tell him that you comped him to Air Bud?
No, I'd rather.
He's probably too young to know the movie. I bet he's never seen it.
He would not know what we're talking about.
Is that Doogie Howser for us? We talk about Air Bud, and they're like, "What is that?"
Yes.
If some GM came up to you, if Omar Khan came up to you and was like, "Hey, DK, I love your draft coverage. I'm really interested. I love your draft
Matthew
coverage.
Golden.
We're thinking about taking a receiver with our first pick. Who's your comp for Matthew Golden?" What would you say to him? What would you say to Omar Khan's face?
That's a great question. You ever seen the second Air Bud
Right in
movie?
the eyes. Air Bud, golden receiver.
The golden receiver.
Air Bud, golden receiver.
So in that film, he actually does play receiver. I checked.
Yeah, he does. I looked it up. He's catching the ball with his mouth. He has a my ball attitude. And he goes up and gets it. He wants the ball at all times.
Yeah.
You throw him the ball one time, he'll just want that forever.
Yeah.
He's going to come right back.
He eats out of a bowl with no hands. The comps are endless.
But yeah, his last name is Golden. Is the most important thing.
So wait, of all the receivers here,
this is like probably the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Dude, you compared the Michigan defensive tackle to the fucking Large Particle Collider.
The Large Hadron Particle Collider, not the small one. It's the big one.
I just
That's
love
Kenneth
the idea
Grant.
of GMs coming up to DK and asking him for comps on the players that he only does the comps for. He's like, so, okay, Matthew Golden, that's funny. What about, like, Shedeur Sanders? What's your comp? And you're like, well, it's like if Deion Sanders had a son that played quarterback. And he's like, okay.
It makes you think.
Tyler,
Really
DK, what's your comp for Tyler Warren? And you're like, have you seen that video of Andy Reid where he's bigger than all the other kids?
Hold on, let me pull it up.
When he's a 13-year-old and
watch
he's
it.
He's like, hold on.
320.
Look, they spelled his name wrong.
Fuck, my phone's not loading. Do you have the Wi-Fi?
Is there any bigger ick than when you're trying to show someone a video and you're vulnerable and you can't even load or find the video and you're like sitting there waiting and you're like, do I bail? Anyway.
Man.
But see,
I can't wait for that to happen, Craig.
Wait,
Andy Reid punt back kick.
DK, to button this all
what
up.
about like Mason Graham? Well, he's kind of the Large Hadron Particle.
So remember, like they were afraid that they'd create a black hole with the thing, and they were like, "That won't happen," you know. So
yeah.
But you have your receiver tight end rankings here. Let's go receiver. You have Travis Hunter as your top, obviously just on the board overall, but just pure receivers. Just like you have Ted McMillan out of Arizona. You have Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State. You have Luther Burden like 3 spots ahead of Matthew Golden, and I'm curious. If I told you one of Luther Burden or Matthew Golden went in the first round, who do you think it would be?
Ooh. That's tough because I think there's like you could look at it both ways. I think so with Luther Burden, he's really twitchy. Craig, I know you.
He went to Mizzou. I didn't say that.
He's like a former 5-star. He's kind of in that vein of like a Travis Hunter. Like he was a huge high school prospect. He stayed near. I think he's from St. Louis. He stayed in home. He went to Mizzou. He had a huge, I believe his sophomore season, he went absolutely nuclear. And then this last season, their offense wasn't as good. His numbers were down. I think there's some concern that they have to kind of scheme him up on some plays in terms of like, he's not a gadget receiver by any means, but they're giving him a lot of screens, a lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage, trying to get him in space. He's not as polished as a receiver, route runner, all that stuff. He doesn't really win at the catch point when it's like, the ball's up in the air. He's pretty inconsistent in that area. I think Golden is more polished, but I just think in terms of like that overall athleticism and like freakish athletic ability, Luther Burden has that more than Golden. Golden is really quick and he can get open early. He's really good at the catch point in terms of like he has like some incredible one-handed catches on tape. He like there's one I remember he kind of like caught it on like his bicep and as he was like going out of bounds. He's got like some crazy catches. And so he's, I think he's a little more polished as a receiver. So it wouldn't surprise me if either of these guys go in the first round. I'd say it's probably more likely that Burden is a first rounder right now.
Because of the upside, just like the tantalizing athleticism.
100%. It's like that upside. But I did see like Daniel Jeremiah had a tweet the other day that was like basically something along the lines of like this guy could be the best receiver in this class.
Burden?
For Golden.
Golden.
Yeah. Which is that's like includes Travis Hunter and Ted McMillan.
I mean, we're talking about Travis Hunter playing both sides. I mean, if Matthew Golden's like Air Bud, like he could also play baseball, volleyball,
he could play
basketball,
hockey, soccer in the World Cup.
We'd have to cover hockey if
he could be
played
someone's
hockey.
pet as well.
All right. I'm not trying to get,
He's got the dog in him.
Get too literal.
He's got that dog in him.
He does have that dog in him.
I love that it's like, all right, Matthew Golden, comp, Air Bud. Luther Burden's comp, DJ Moore.
Look,
you can't do all of the players. Because what if a GM comes up to me and asks me about Luther Burden?
Right.
Burden,
I love Burden.
We'll talk about Burden a lot. I'm kind of like, I don't know, the way you're hand wavy about like injuries and you're like it'll be fine. I look at people like, well, why did he suck last year? And I'm like, I don't know, like his quarterback was hurt the entire season, and like I think DJ Moore's a perfect comp for a variety of reasons, but also just the quarterback hell DJ Moore's gone through. I'm like,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
Anytime DJ Moore's at even okay quarterback play, he's pretty unbelievable.
Awesome.
And it's like, the offense is limited. The whole thing's around. I don't know. I don't watch Missouri and think, what's up with Luther?
I think Burden has the same explosiveness as DJ Moore, but I think he's shiftier, like left and right.
Oh, really?
DJ Moore. He has that, like.
That's saying a lot, too, because I think that's DJ Moore's really shifty.
To me, Burden has, like, 99 percentile stop and start ability, like Antonio
Twitchy.
Brown with the ball in his hand.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, no, I think, so I like Matthew Golden. Luther Burden. Also, Burden the Third is an unbelievable name.
Yeah, he has
on the back
a good
of a
name.
jersey.
Luther Burden is kind of,
because you know why it's over
like a badass name.
Like the NBA meme, it's like, oh, this guy's gonna be a problem, but it's like, no, this guy's a burden. Like that's so sick.
Problem. Should I just like I should go through my top 50 and just like take pictures of my scouting reports and just say for every single one, this guy's gonna be a problem.
I love that.
Wait, just do 50 tweets in a thread. That's really
like
funny.
Old highlight tapes of random NBA players who were fine.
Or sorry,
James Lee was a problem.
Sorry, it's Blue Sky. It's 50 skeets in a row.
Yeah.
You'll need a refractory period.
I have to wait every 15 minutes,
I'm kind of a problem right now on my rec team. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Dude, wait, hold on. Should we? I introduced. We met the Chargers reporter Chris, who covers the Chargers for ESPN.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is Craig. He lives in LA too. And immediately you guys were like, do you guys play basketball together?
He was like, oh, do you know this? Like he's like, oh, I play in a rec league, and I was like, oh yeah, I play with some Ringer guys. And he was like, wait, do you play with Jackson Saffon, who used to work at the Ringer? And I was like, yes, he's on my team. And he was like, yo, we just played you guys like a month ago. And I was like, wait, I remember you. He's like, oh yeah, I think you yelled at me because I kept grabbing your jersey coming off screens. I was like, you fucking did. I'm rolling off screens and he's grabbing my shirt every time.
We walked away.
I was like, are you gonna fucking grab me the whole game?
Dude, we walked away and Craig was like, that guy was really grabbing me.
He was like, yeah. And then I was like trying to make eyes at the ref. I was like, he's grabbing me on every screen.
Oh my god! Hilarious.
He didn't even apologize. He was just like, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
He was like, I was doing that.
Yeah, I am.
That's how I play basketball.
You're
like, oh, okay.
Now we're friends.
Yeah. Oh my god. So
I like the idea of Craig just being like a total dick on the basketball. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I just like the idea of you like starting fights.
Well, look,
you're like a nice guy, laid back. And then you get on the court and you're in trouble.
I have a tendency. If no one on my team is going to bring that type of energy, I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Like if no one's getting mouthy, I will.
You're setting screens.
Yes, but if there's other guys on my team who are a bit mouthy, I'll kind of lay low.
Yeah.
I kind of like fill in when needed.
That's fair.
Do you
glue guy?
You know what would surprise you? You know it's weird? When I play like sports, like competitive sports like that, I am a mute. I communicate with my teammates. It's the quietest I ever am.
He's just out there hustling.
I am an absolute mute.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Actually, I've never thought, but I'm a mute.
This is the most talkative person I've ever met in my life, and he barely ever tweets.
I don't say a word.
Basketball, you are not a shit talker. You're not in anyone's face.
I don't say a word.
No.
I literally I wait till the game's over.
It's such a weird contradiction.
Does that come from a lack of confidence in your ability on the court to back up what you would be saying?
That wasn't what I was thinking. That's way less cool than what I was trying to come up with.
Psychoanalyzing it.
No, I'm like, maybe. Honestly, probably afraid of jinxing it. No, I don't know. I kind of I don't know. I just
What's your
feel
best,
I feel confident that whatever someone says won't get to me. It's I don't know. I don't know. I just don't.
If somebody's shit talking you, you just take it. You won't respond.
I'll stare them in the eyes and say nothing.
What's your best sport? What sport do you feel the most confident in when you're playing currently?
Handball.
So
you talk shit more while playing sports you're better at?
No. I'm not a shit talker.
I mean,
even fantasy, when I win, I kind of do the Larry Fitzgerald. I win a championship and I kind of hand the ball to the ref.
He's the fucking MJ shrug guy.
I send a GIF. When I win a league in fantasy, I spend an hour looking for the right GIF, and then I never bring up that I won ever again.
Heifetz is
the best.
Heifetz is annoyingly good at fantasy.
He's really good at Dynasty.
It makes me mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, this fucker shouldn't be this.
It actually really angered me that you didn't know that I won the league this year. You were like, who won? And I was like, me.
It's so true that nobody's
so infuriating.
Once you're out, you're like, okay, someone will win.
Because you missed the playoffs. You're removing the Yahoo app from your bookmarks. You're like, I'm good. I'll check back in August.
I was so, because I don't shit talk the leagues, but then the moment I do, everyone's like, you're an asshole. And then it's like, oh, if I don't do that, then everyone just forgets that you won.
Shit talking in fantasy is really funny. And everyone hates you when you do it. When you're shit talks, but it's hilarious.
It is. It's good to stir.
I think it's you actually have to shit talk constantly and really constantly remind people that you won, because
I've started doing it more in my group chats where it's kind of the whole point is just to make fun of your friends. Other NFL news. This one's usually pretty boring, but I actually think this says something. So the Chiefs Also, wait, you just told me this happened just now, but we are confirmed Trey Smith is going to get franchise tag. Was that like?
Yeah, according to Schefter.
So Schefter.
Sorry, according to Rapoport. God,
come on,
Jesus.
Whoa. We're going to start another fight.
Rapoport just comes from flying.
Do we have a problem? We need to talk.
We do need to
Keep his name out of your mouth.
We don't need to talk. But we didn't even talk about the fact that he called security.
Did he call security or was security
He
called by
alerted
somebody
security.
standing there?
He alerted security.
Rapoport did?
NFL security. To which my question is kind of... Yeah, it's kind of tough. But my question is, I kind of can't believe he can do that.
Why?
I didn't know that Starbucks had security.
Dude, no,
NFL security.
But it's like, you ever seen fucking...
Just Big Dom, the Starbucks version of Big Dom is just standing next to the barista all day.
If anyone's calling Starbucks security, it's definitely the Schultz kid. 100%. But,
That's really funny.
you ever seen Head of State, the Chris Rock movie?
Yes,
Which is like, security! And they just pull him away. And I'm like, Ian, I thought Goodell had it like that. You tell me Ian's got it like that?
Eastwood just running by the limousine, like
Rapoport gave people disappeared.
What's it called?
We did it on the rewatchables a year ago.
In the Line of Fire.
In the Line of Fire, yeah.
This was like 50 years ago when that movie was made. In
the 90s. Yeah.
And Clint Eastwood was 75 when they made it.
Right.
So
he plays like
he was
retired
old then,
20 years ago.
Getting back into it. And
he was old in the 1990s.
Yes.
Yeah.
He made Unforgiven as like his final Western.
Clint Eastwood is the oldest person on earth.
It's been 30 years.
That's actually insane.
And he just directed a movie.
He was old and washed up.
Doogie Howser was on TV when he made that movie.
He was like Doogie Howser's father.
More than that.
Grandfather.
Great-grandfather. So the Chiefs put...
It's like the Kristen Wiig one up first.
So the Chiefs put the franchise...
Astronaut. My dad actually invented the moon. He put it there. His name is Warren Moon.
So the Chiefs put the franchise tag on Trey Smith of the Chiefs, which is, let's be honest, kind of boring. But what it actually means to me...
It's a huge bummer for me because I wanted the Seahawks to sign him.
It's a reminder that all the list of free agents people make, it's kind of like they're not going to hit it.
Thanks, Craig.
But
okay, Craig, so talks about the fucking Steelers every episode.
I know. Please.
Oh, come on.
Talk about the Warriors.
The Giants? That's all we fucking talk about is the Giants.
That's fair.
Well, you know what? I'm not getting into it. The Chiefs tagged.
Debate.
Yeah.
No, the sixth time.
There's just
Chiefs
tagged. Like a fan of a team in February, being like, "Dang it, they franchise tagged the guard Trey Smith."
Well, no, I think what it means. So the
hoping my team could sign him.
The interesting wrinkle, though, is that the way the tag works is the average of the top 5 salaries of the position. So if it's quarterback, it's like you tag them like, $45 million for the quarterback or whatever. There's no guard tag. It's just offensive line tag.
So it's more. It's
like a left.
Right?
It's a left tackle price for a right guard. They wrote it down like 20 years ago, and then you couldn't. The reason is because it got put in this collective bargaining agreement, and basically there's like 2,000 players in the union, and there's like 20 players a year. There's like really 8 players you get the tag. And they're the richest players. So like the politics of it are like you can't convince the player pool to use capital negotiating with the owners to help the fucking franchise tag guys because they're the richest players in the league. So the tag rules are pretty unchanged, even though the tag is the reason all the players don't make as much money as they should.
When you say they don't want to use the capital to negotiate, you mean like literally...
It's collectively bargained, and when the union negotiates with the league in the collective bargaining agreement, they'd have to change the paragraph.
Yeah.
But like... it's the mechanism in which the NFL kind of underpays all the players is the franchise tag, but like you can't convince, the 52nd player on the roster's vote on the bargaining agreement is equal to like Patrick Mahomes's. It's one vote. So like when you're doing it, no one gives a fuck about how Patrick Mahomes would make more money. Because like, who cares? I'm trying to like literally they want to like, what they actually do is they move the minimum salary from $600K to $1 million because that affects like 1,000 people. So it's like, but they can't. But the reason the money stays is because the good players don't reach free agency, which have the tag, which is what this is about.
This is why you shouldn't care about the salary.
Yeah, sorry. Bleep everything I just said.
What are the majority of the?
Am I the energy vampire all along?
I can feel my eyes glazing over.
Put on AirBuds.
I'm just over here watching AirBuds.
What does the majority of the union want to change this rule? Because then it means guards get less money, and then that money can be used elsewhere.
Yeah, but that's in 4 years. They're going to be out of the league. Like literally, the average career is 2.5 years. They want an extra $400,000, and this year and next, and then you'll be out. So like that's why the NFL union's behind. The NBA union, MLB union are more powerful because players have longer careers.
Right.
So it's like they're thinking years ahead. NFL players can't do that.
Money
so anyway,
now.
so the reason I'm sorry to energy vamp. Everyone listening, I was just falling asleep driving.
I'm googling AirBud movies.
Anyway,
AirBud best quotes.
I'm going to explain this whole thing, and we're going to decide
AirBud
post to cut it.
Are we still doing AirBuds?
Not sure.
I feel like we should.
You said the dog died?
I didn't want to say it's bad vibes.
How many dogs?
A lot. They've gone through a lot of dogs. I mean, golden retrievers, It's like
Holy
40
shit,
years.
dude,
Disney owns it.
there's Airbud World Pup, Airbud 7th Inning Fetch, Airbud Spikes Back,
Fetch.
Snow Buddies, Space Buddies, Santa Buddies, Spooky Buddies, Treasure Buddies, Super Buddies. There's like a whole other offshoot franchise.
Roger,
It's owned by Walt Disney
if
Company.
a dog wore pants, would a dog
I
wear
was too busy
pants?
Googling.
So you said who says the Walt Disney Company?
Well, I just read it. I'll read whatever you put in front of me.
You really are. We don't talk about that enough. You really are. You will read fucking anything I put in the stock.
Yeah. Yeah.
You read Int. I'll never get over reading Int out loud. You're still the old.
Yeah, you were really hung up on that.
It's never happened before.
You get very
since.
upset when I accidentally say TD instead of int.
No
or
one else
instead of
says
touchdown,
TD.
or int instead of
no one
interception.
says TD.
People say TD. It's not as rare as you would think.
I lean Heifetz. You don't hear a lot of TDs.
I like how Craig is always like, he's the deciding vote.
I'm like Reale. I'm like point Heifetz.
Yeah, no, seriously. Okay.
Should I just finish the Trey Smith thing or just quit?
I know.
Oh my God.
Mute. That'd be really funny.
They're ending the show.
They can't sue us. It's over.
There's dozens of us, Craig. Email it. What is it? ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com if you say TD in your regular life.
Around the horn. What do we call it? Near the horn?
Pardon my take. We just take two. What's the other one? Cold horn. Pardon my horn. I don't know.
Yeah, there's something there.
Pardon my horn.
Well, they just did because they just took part in the interruption and
First take.
And first
No,
take.
no,
and
I
they,
get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
There's
sounded like
something
sexual innuendo, but maybe that's good.
Pardon my horn.
I'm not going to finish this Chiefs thing. I'm not going to finish the
No,
Trey Smith
I
thing.
need
I'm
to
not
know what
going
you
to
think
finish.
about Trey Smith, the guard on the Chiefs, getting
Yeah,
this.
it's
What it means-
scintillating.
I think.
Tell us more.
Fuck. All right, in my defense, you asked the follow-up questions about the CBA.
I did.
That was you.
We'll cut all of it, but I did.
You'll cut it all.
No.
Negative point for Craig.
The reason it's interesting is I think it captures the extent to which defense has caught up to offense in the NFL, because offenses are so desperate for offensive line play that the Chiefs are going to give left tackle-ish money to a right guard because they realized they tried to replace Trey Smith. And literally, he's the best free agent that will be out there. If T. Higgins goes back to the Bengals, Trey Smith's like the best. He didn't even have a great season. He had probably lesser season than the year before. But there's so few offensive lines, and defense has gotten so much better at attacking protections that you need good linemen. And I think you saw this with the
Jalen
Seahawks.
Carter is the reason why they're playing Trey Smith.
You saw this with the Seahawks, DK, where last year at this combine, John Schneider, the GM of the Seahawks, is out here guards are kind of overrated. You can fill them in. We don't think of guards as premium positions. And then guess what? The entire Seahawks season got derailed because their guards sucked and their center sucked. And it's he retired in the middle of the season. I said that kind of weird, like sucker and sucker.
That was
They sucked. But they did.
Yeah, they did.
Pressure.
Mike McDonald had to run the damn ball. Pressure. But I think that's what it says. The fact that the Chiefs are going to do that just signals teams need offensive line so badly right now because you can't function without
Wasn't
it.
there a weird run on guards last year? Weren't the Broncos spending a lot on
Well, the
guards?
Panthers spent a ton because
Cushenberry
Bryce Young,
and-
because he's so short, if there's interior pressure, he just can't make a football
yeah,
play.
yeah.
So they had to overpay. They gave $100 million to guards.
They should really try to find the five best but shortest offensive linemen for the Panthers.
Oh, that's good. Like a small apartment, you got to get boutique furniture.
Yeah.
You got to really find the right dimensions.
Yes, exactly.
No, you got to think about it. In New York City, you can't just get any furniture. That shit's got to be 26
the
inches.
Tallest tackles. They should find the best but shortest offensive line they can find.
Just like the Eagles, their two guards are 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, so we're gonna cut all that, right? Anyway, other rule changes. DK, I don't know if this gets your rocks going, but
DK's still looking at Airbud.
what the fuck are you doing?
Still fucking scrolling on Airbud.
Because Hooters went bankrupt.
My
Now he's
computer,
looking
man.
at it.
IMDb.
Hey. Yeah, I was looking at it.
Airbud spikes back.
Volleyball.
His revenge? Oh, okay.
Volleyball.
I'm cutting this rule change
Disney
stuff. We went too long
serves
on
up
Trey Smith.
adventure. Get it?
What?
On Spike's back. It's
What?
serves up adventure.
Sure.
Like a volleyball serve.
Right.
Yeah.
I played volleyball.
So,
Okay.
San Diego State?
Unfortunately, no, I did not play D1 volleyball.
Well, that was
I
what I
got
was asking.
D3 offers.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, you got
played volleyball
D3
in high
offers
school?
to play volleyball? Where?
Really, like College of the Redwoods. Really
What?
small school.
What is College of the
City-
Redwoods?
something-
Is the whole
Redwood-
college built in the forest in a tree?
College of the Redwoods? You almost played D3 volleyball in Eureka,
I did not
California?
almost play. I think I got a letter in the mail, and I was like, I'm obviously not doing that.
No.
God. You're going to get a really sternly written letter.
I debated
from
trying to play
Redwoods.
club in college, but I was like, it's like you actually have to like travel, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Wait, we have
What's the point? I'm not going.
Dude, also all these like volleyball players like UCLA, you're like, all right, you got to fly to Maryland now because you're in the Big Ten. It's actually preposterous that we're flying these
the
water polo
going to Rutgers.
Water polo to Rutgers? Are you kidding me?
That's nuts.
I can't believe that we even for 1 year we've pretended that we're gonna do this. Like it's actually insane.
Build a new.
I don't think you could find one person that actually believes that anyone should be doing that.
No.
You couldn't find one. That's like, anyway.
Conferences should be regional.
Other things.
Hot take.
We have a bunch of things left that are like pretty core. The one thing we missed from the NFLP report card: Patriots don't have Wi-Fi on their plane.
Oh God,
They do not have Wi-Fi on the team plane.
Heifetz wouldn't have a problem with that.
That's not what I said.
I, on the other hand,
Not what I said.
Matters to me.
Also, on that report where so basically the Patriots got really bad grades for, I don't know what that fell under, the treatment of players or whatever. But the airplane, this reminds me so much of Major League where they're like on the movie, they're getting on the team plane. It's like this old propeller plane, and there's a guy like duct taping the propeller.
Fine.
They're like all scared for their lives. Apparently the Patriots team plane still has, the ashtrays in.
Oh my God. Get out of here. Get out of
here. It's really good.
Wow.
Do you think it's a team building tactic? No Wi-Fi means you got to talk to your teammates.
No, they're just cheap.
You got to bond.
They're just cheap.
I like that idea, but no, it's not.
Do you guys want to do a couple Indianapolis stories, then Post Malone Oreos? Or do you want to Post Malone Oreos and then some Indianapolis stories?
Let's do Indianapolis stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about St. Elmo.
So a crazy thing happened. So we went to St. Elmo, the steakhouse, and shout out to Josh Norris and Hayden and Hayden Underdog. We had a great dinner.
We'll be there again tonight.
We'll be there again tonight. It's the only restaurant we go to, and we had this great dinner.
Arguably too many times.
Yeah, too many times. Yeah. And we had this great dinner, and we came up, and there's all these reporters we're friendly with are having dinner upstairs, and it's like an old school steakhouse. They have all these photos on the wall of all these people that have been there, right? And so we're sitting, and it was Nora. Nora was at a table with Kalen Collar, I think Cassidy Hill, and I forget who was at what table. And they... and Cat Fitzgerald in Buffalo, and we're sitting there, and I woke up, and I'm looking at the wall, and it's like, two on my right, two on my left, and I'm looking at the wall. And I'm looking at and I'm like, what is this photo at your table, guys? And they're like, what are you talking about? Who is in that picture?
Like on the wall.
Why is that?
Well, it's
when
like
you go to an old steakhouse, there's always like photos of celebrities on the wall shaking the hand of the owner of the restaurant.
Like I sat
with
by
their signature on.
I sat by a picture of like Nick Offerman or whatever.
Yeah, it's like Gordon Ramsay and Peyton Manning, yeah. And so I'm like, who is that? And they're like, wait a minute. I'm like, that's Saddam Hussein. And they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like,
loves the shrimp cocktail.
What do you mean? And I'm like, they're like,
can't get enough of the horseradish cocktail sauce.
This really happened. And they're like, what do you mean it's Saddam Hussein? I'm like, he's in handcuffs, and they're holding a paper in front of him.
French onion soup.
He was in handcuffs?
The paper says December 4th, 2003. That's Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein getting arrested.
Yes.
This guy that was apparently in the FBI, and it was a frequenter of the restaurant. Kat was explaining this.
So they told us. So later they thought of.
He was a picture of me arresting.
Yeah, so the guy, they went back every year and sat at this table, looked at the photo of him. And I guess the guy gave him the photo.
Sit there tonight.
So we should get that table. And I guess the guy actually passed away, so his family comes and sits at the table. So, but they didn't realize this. So anyway, I take a picture of them pointing the photo, and I take a photo of the photo, and it's a little grainy, and my phone camera's kind of messed up.
Grainy.
I zoom in. We're gonna put this on Spotify. You can look at the photo of the photo, and then we'll switch it and show the angle that Craig had. And then so I showed Craig, and I'm like zoomed out version, and I'm like, do you know who this photo's of?
No context.
I just showed him.
Again, the odds that the person in the photo was Saddam Hussein were 1 in a million.
Less than the asteroid. The asteroid is like 0.04.
Right.
The odds that it was a celebrity, an older celebrity.
It's not where your mind was going.
I don't know. It could have been anybody. I try to zoom in the best I can in this grainy photo of this guy with jet black hair, and he seemed to be wearing like a black jacket. And I said, "Is that the Fonz?"
I think I just talked a little. Oh God! That was the best moment.
In my defense, Saddam was doing this. He did. No, he wasn't.
He just hit the jukebox.
God, the fonts. I couldn't think of a better example of who you could have guessed.
We're going to post on Instagram and Blue Sky the photo of the Saddam at the elbow.
I looked at it. I just zoomed in once and I was like, is that the fonts? Like, I didn't even take a beat.
Dude, should we put that in the title? It's just like NFL Combine updates and Saddam, the fonts Hussein.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, that kind of looks like.
Dude,
can you pull it up?
It's not a bad. DK, that's your next comp.
If anyone listening knows Henry Winkler, can you send him this conversation, please, for the love of God?
Henry Winkler lives right near me in LA.
That's the flexest flex. Are you kidding me?
No, I see him driving a lot.
Where do you live?
Brentwood.
Oh, okay.
In an apartment, but I see him driving from his house.
Look at this picture. That's pretty close.
Yeah, dude.
If anyone can get this section of the pod in front of Henry Winkler, please let him know that he was confused for Saddam Hussein.
At that photo of the fawns.
If it's really blurry, for instance.
While we're telling stories, do you guys want to tell the story of what happened to us literally seconds before we started recording with the people who came up to us? With the cakes?
Oh, yeah. So there's, I don't know, who are they with?
Actually, can I tell my version of it?
Indianapolis Tourism
Can I tell my version of it?
Organization or something?
Well, I'm just here.
Well, they walk around giving out treats.
They give out an Irish cake.
Right.
And they're like, hey, so we're having, and they're filming us. They got the little tiny mic.
Pistachio Irish whiskey cake.
Oh, yeah, here, give me the cake.
We should eat it on air.
Oh, yeah, we'll review it.
Where's mine?
Is it going to ruin our appetite for the Post Malone Oreos?
Nah. Here it is.
Nah.
Oh, yeah, give me.
What are we, 12? We can eat both.
Anyway, yeah, they walk around trying to get fun little sound bites so they can put together a montage video of it, I assume. Yeah. And the least surprising thing of all time is that Heifetz is really into this idea.
Well, I'm just on camera now. I don't even know
the most engaged he's ever been in his life.
She's like, oh, we're giving out these like Irish cakes, pistachio Irish whiskey, and Heifetz is like,
what?
Why? Like, tell me more about this. And she's like, well, we're actually like, there's the whole thing we're doing in Ireland, and we wanted to kind of promote Indianapolis with this like Irish dessert. And then as the one woman is saying that, the next one who's holding the camera goes, I think I remember you from last year.
His enthusiasm.
You were here last year, weren't you?
You're the guy who asked a lot of questions.
And it wasn't, as Tucker pointed out.
Your photo on the wall in our office.
Yeah. I get confused for Saddam.
Yeah. Avoid this man.
She wasn't like, oh, I remember you from last year. It was, I think I remember you from last year. Yeah. Are we trying this cake?
Yeah. Again, pistachio, Irish.
So well, in my defense, they were like, I was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, because we have a flight from Indianapolis to Ireland now. And I was like, so are you with the NFL or the airline? She was like, I'm with Indianapolis. And I'm like, I don't know. You guys are just taking cake?
And Heifetz really cares a lot about
I'm curious.
where he's getting his
a curious
I'm having a hard time opening this.
This is really good. You've been doing that a long
time. How do you open this? It's wrapped up. Can't find the end of it. It's like, the wrapping or the packing tape where you can't find where to peel it.
Yeah. My favorite.
Hold up to the camera.
My favorite scene ever. While you're
blocking it. Your Airbud's blocking it.
I got it.
While he's opening it.
Hey, don't.
You can look at Airbud later, all right?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Jesus.
He's looking at Hooters, you think. He's very protective of his screen time.
What's happening with you?
Very protective of his screen time.
Have you seen the Curb Your Enthusiasm? You know the Curb Your Enthusiasm scene when he's trying to open like the pair of scissors and it's in that like really hard plastic case. He's stabbing it with a knife.
Oh my God.
To open it. It's like my favorite thing.
I've hurt myself trying to open stuff before.
What?
This has like a nutty.
I cut myself on a water bottle.
I was actually wondering about that.
I cut my finger in a water bottle.
This has like a nutty butteriness to it.
It's pretty good. It's really good.
What's the cream?
Irish.
Okay.
It's honestly.
Does it make you want to take a flight?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I need a Guinness with this.
To Dublin?
I need to split the G. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
All right.
All right, when's your Post Malone Oreo time?
So if you're living in Indianapolis and you want to take a trip to Ireland,
they got a flight now.
Look no further than your local airline.
So, most important time of the show, these little freaks have gone even further than ever before. They have Post Malone Oreos, which is unbelievable. Post Malone Oreos. And so
unbelievable.
They are
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Wow. Posty swirled salted caramel and shortbread flavor cream. Shout out to Mike Golick Jr. Oh, Charles. Chuck.
You want one?
Here, come here. Here. Come pop a squat.
Yeah.
We can share.
Let me try this.
Well, yeah. This is Chuck from McDonald's. Chuck McDonald's. What did I just say?
Charles McDonald.
Charles McDonald from Yahoo.
Read the flavor.
I know. I heard Post Malone Oreo. I decided
Wait for us. We're going to do it all at once.
Okay.
Oh, it says Post. Oh, that Oreo broke. Well, I did fly with these. Oh, that was kind of messed up.
What flavor is it? What's that?
No, dude, no.
It's Post Malone flavored.
Well, okay.
what is it?
I don't want cigarettes. Like,
No, it tastes like cigarettes.
flavored.
Here are the flavors.
That would
It
work.
tastes like cigarettes and tattoo.
Cigarettes and Bud Light. Posties, swirled salted caramel and shortbread flavor cream.
It definitely.
So, let's do it.
Smells extremely sweet.
Well, you almost have to.
Oh, they're pretty good.
That's good as fuck. Oh, sorry.
No,
Okay.
dude, we've been saying, we talked about Saddam Hussein earlier.
Oh, okay.
You're like,
You know, they have a picture of him at up Elmo's?
Couldn't you imagine if he was like,
Saddam's
we
at
were
Elmo.
due?
That's not my fault.
No.
I'll show you later, but I was playing cards with my friends, and my friend has a card set that is just terrorists from 9/11
Oh yeah.
on the front of it.
Yeah.
And I think the Joker card is Osama bin Laden.
Oh, no, that's a real thing.
I have it.
The army gave them out because in the war in Iraq, they did this in World War II, too. Players get cards,
you can identify them?
They want people,
They're trying
the
to capture
soldiers,
them,
to be able to identify people. So they actually put high-value
That's a good idea.
targets.
It got very serious.
Yeah, high-value targets.
Oh,
And
you
so
said Saddam Hussein.
Right.
Yeah, more importantly, this is the plot
Fair.
of Mercenaries, which was like one of the greatest Xbox games ever. It was Mercenary? Yeah, Tucker's like.
All right, I'm gonna get you here. Let me
Oh
get
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
It's
Let me
just
get one more.
nodding.
You want another one?
They're pretty good. These
They're
are pretty
really,
good.
really sweet. But
You're really good.
All right.
Your teeth are chattering now.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thanks, Charles. Anyway, if
He just comes over and grabs a few
you
cookies.
get your hands on those cards,
No,
Yeah.
these are really good.
They're really
I'm not
They are
gonna lie,
good.
this is top 3 Oreo I've ever had.
So the outer wafer kind of tastes a little different too,
It's
right?
chocolate.
Or is it the same as usual?
Well, here, I gotta
there's
split
two
the.
different-
Look at this. Honestly, this is really unappealing when I open it, but it's like, it's kind of smushed together.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay.
pretty good.
the salted caramel really hits you the hardest.
Yeah.
It's actually quite salty, which I appreciate. If you're
I
going to
think-
do salted caramel, you need it to be salty.
So here's my take. I think talking about shortbread and these flavors, this is also what Jenny's did with the Ted Lasso thing. And I think when there's a huge brand they try to do,
what did Jenny's do with Ted Lasso?
the biscuits. The Ted,
Oh,
you don't
yeah,
watch
yeah,
Ted
yeah.
Lasso.
I watched the first season and then
So they do.
continue.
We know he
on
makes
my
the
life.
biscuits.
Damn it, Craig.
He makes the biscuits in Ted Lasso.
Oh, right. He gives it to the owner
And
lady.
she's like, where did he get it from? And he makes them. Spoiler. And so
oh, yeah, right. Is that the end of season 1? You find out he's like.
it's like, yeah, he's
them
making
every
them for her
day,
the whole
every week.
time, and she feels bad. Anyway, they did the thing, and it's really sugary. I think they saved these really sugary versions for when they have a huge one to make it. But having said, these
So
are
that
pretty
everybody
fire.
likes them?
Well, I think that they're getting into the Ben and Jerry's of it because this is like what Ben and Jerry's does. Give it to a person. These freaks.
Like the Tonight Dough.
These little, yeah, that's my favorite flavor.
good one, yeah.
Tonight Dough's incredible.
Tonight Dough's really good.
Because I used to be half baked, but now it's Tonight Dough.
Well, yeah, and it used to be it was late night snack when he had late night with Fallon and he went Tonight Show and they had to make a new pun. Yeah, these are good. Again,
I think this
don't
was
think
like a
I could
9-2.
have- I don't think I could
You
have
have
more
like
than
one or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot. I almost think with milk it would soften it in a really nice way. I think it'd be better with milk.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
I get 8 out of 10. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd give it a
I'd
7.
give it 9-2. I'm
Maybe
blown away.
7.5, maybe 7.5.
Last email here. Last email. We can get out of here.
Okay.
We got an email from Redacted.
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 Oh my
Due to
God,
my work-
my laptop on the Oreo.
Due to,
That's why I was so upset with you shutting my laptop. Didn't want
due to my
switch
work,
for
I
you.
would prefer to remain anonymous, but I may be able to help you with naming a street. I work
No
for a rather
way.
large developer in the Pacific Northwest. One of the
Oh.
departments I come up with names our streets.
Sits Pinkler Way.
At this point, they use AI for half of them because it's harder than you think.
Not
Free to-
lame.
basically, here are the parameters.
What if can we have this street called No Way? No Way.
Might be something there.
Kind of funny.
It's probably there. It's probably already happened.
You think?
Yeah.
The
You guys would
Fonz.
like that more, but-
Honestly,
That's like a 6.
that's something I would make. Like that's a joke I would make. Derogatory.
Okay.
Right. That's fair.
Shoot or shoot.
Redacted says, while you're free to name streets as you please, there are some requirements. Cannot be offensive. Limited to 13 characters. Cannot already be used in the jurisdiction.
How many is Sitzpinkler?
Does, like,
11, I counted already.
Okay.
But does it, if it sits Pinkler Street
Dot
the
LN?
street-
That would be 13 because it's ST.
Oh, so you do count the street or the avenue?
I don't know.
or-
I assume he would have mentioned that because that would be like 11.
Okay.
They cannot already be used in the jurisdiction you're applying for. And finally, and this is the hardest one, they cannot sound too similar to an existing street name, which is subjective and like per review, and also it's hard to pull up the list. But anyway,
That's
we can start brainstorming in it. Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com.
Wait, so what's the? Do they just like they get?
They'll
a
take
request?
whatever. They can do whatever they want as long as it satisfies those things.
Okay.
So
Do you make up your own version of like lane or street or avenue where it's, for instance,
Cloyce box.
box?
Yeah. So emails at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com with suggestions based on the history of our show. We have people listening a long time
So
of what we think the
can
street
just-
name should be.
Anybody can submit a name and they will accept it as long as it doesn't sound like a different name. It's not inappropriate.
No, I think we're getting the white glove treatment here. I don't think you're allowed to just
Oh,
like
yeah.
submit stuff. I think this guy's just
Cut
going to
the
put one in
beginning
for
of
us.
the line here.
What should we do?
Or, you know.
Sits Pinkler
I think
is-
Cloyce Ave is like, I don't want to overthink it. Cloyce Ave is legendary. And it doesn't sound like, I don't think there's a Joyce in, you know, whatever county we're doing this in. I think Cloyce could get through.
You can't go wrong with Sitzpinkler.
Sitzpinkler is so unique. Can you imagine?
Right.
And honestly, nobody would.
Sitzpinkler way.
Most people wouldn't.
No, they'll just be like, oh, it's some German street.
Yeah.
Sitzpinkler's up there.
That's top 2.
Yeah.
We need a third. We need to submit at least 3.
Sitzpinkler, Cloyce Box.
Wade Jones.
Wade
His
Jones.
name? Yeah.
Wade Jones.
Not
Way.
enough people would get that.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Jones Wade.
Gentlemen's Piss Club cannot be incorporated.
No.
Too long.
Too long doesn't work.
Yeah. All right, email us. Okay.
This is so exciting. We have
I
to
know.
go
It's
visit
pretty
the street.
incredible. Oh, I have another surprise for you guys. Actually, I'll tell you right now. So I think I mentioned on the show. No, did we mention on the show? So obviously Wojtek the bear, the Polish bear who got a medal in World War II. Every time I say that.
Smoking cigarettes.
He smoked cigarettes and ate beer, and they gave him a medal.
Polish.
Tucker's laughing. It was real. It really happened. They gave a bear a medal.
He would eat lung darts.
That's a veteran you're laughing at.
It is.
How dare you, sir?
They find the bear in the
served.
Middle East.
They adopted him.
Yeah, they adopted
He's a
him.
Syrian bear, yeah.
Fed him coffee and cigarettes.
Coffee and cigs. And so anyway, so they gave him a medal. So his name's Wojtek the Bear. I thought it was Wojtek, but I guess my Polish isn't that great. So it's Wojtek the Bear. There's the Windy City Bulls, where the Chicago Bulls G League team had a Polish Heritage Night, and they had a bobblehead with the Chicago Bull and Wojtek.
Wojtek is way more famous than we thought.
I think we kind of blew up.
It's like Mike the Headless Chicken.
Mike the Headless Chicken.
He choked to death.
I think that's the funniest moment in the history of our show.
Headless Chicken choked to death.
He lived for how many days did he live? Headless.
6 months without a head, and then he choked
Toured
to
him
death.
around the country, and then he choked on a
He
fucking
choked on a kernel of
More
corn.
specifically, he was murdered.
He was murdered.
I think
It was an
he was
inside
murdered.
job.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Somebody was getting jealous.
so
Airbud was getting a little jealous.
so the Windy City Bulls,
A movie was greenlit for Mike the Headless Chicken, and Airbud was like, I'm not having this.
God.
the Windy City Bulls had this bobblehead, and I put out a skeet on Blue Sky saying, I'm literally begging
Skeeted
anyone in Chicago, please, will anyone in Chicago acquire one of these bobbleheads for me? Shout out to Willie, Bill, in the mail on the way.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I told him
No
I'll pay
way.
the shipping. He's going to send us
Wait,
a
it's a
Wojtek
bobblehead?
of Wojtek the
that's
bobblehead.
sick.
We're gonna, if we're ever able to like live in the same city again, our office will be so sick.
Oh my
We have,
God.
Like, so
Yeah.
many like
'Cause we have the Mike
weird
the Headless Chicken
niche-
shirt.
Yeah, so many shirts, bobbleheads, weird knickknacks. It's gonna be the best.
Hell yeah.
And yet we still can't get Oreos to even email us. They won't even email us.
Can't get a word.
Anyone at Oreos, just little freaks, please get in touch. They probably don't like the freaks.
Begging Poppy to reach out.
Begging.
I'm begging you, Poppy. Your cherry
Please.
cola flavor is the best thing I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
It is. It's really good.
All right. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Tucker. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Troy, for filling in. I was going to call you Fart Nasty, and I should probably just go Troy. Whatever. Whatever.
Good, actually.
I was just like, thanks, Fart Nasty. I'm like, go with Troy. Thank you, Lauren.
Sorry,
Are you drinking water?
Thank you, Buddy Holly.
Nice.
Nice.
I was just like imagining who the Fonz would be like dancing to and whatnot.
Yeah, buddy.
Who is that? The Fonz?
The Fonz?
We're gonna put
It's
that.
like Arrested Development.
Is it bad? I can't tweet the photo of Saddam Hussein.
Yes,
Be like,
we
does this
can.
look like the Fonz? Is that weird?
I feel like it's fine.
Who's going to get offended by that?
I'm gonna be like, what are you doing in Indianapolis?
It's just a picture of Saddam Hussein.
Right.
I was going to
That's
say,
fine.
we're not the crazy ones. They're the ones with the photo of Saddam getting arrested at eye level in the opening of the restaurant. It's right in the front. It's in the lobby.
When we go tonight, I'll try to take a photo and we'll throw it on the gram.
We have to.
On the
We
gram.
have to. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We should ask for the table.
We should.
We should ask, and oh my God, we should eat there, put it on IG Live.
Yeah.
Just like, we'll go live from the Saddam table. All right, goodbye, everyone.